What's going on, champs and champions? It's FireMonkey here, and I finally managed to beat the queue accusations, you know, the 50 million players in queue over and over and over again, and I am now able to sit here and tell you guys how I feel about this game that we're playing, you know, how I feel about Overwatch 2, and I want to start it off by saying that I'm not going to be giving you, like, you know, a review in the sense of, hey, you should buy this game, hey, you shouldn't, actually, you don't need to buy the game, it's free to play, but I'm not going to give you a review in the sense of, hey, you should or shouldn't play the game. I'm just going to be talking about what I liked and disliked about it, and of course I'm going to be starting off by talking about what I disliked. And you know, the biggest complaint I have isn't even one that affects me personally, but it affects some other people out there, right? It affects people who may not have a phone, or maybe on specific providers that are prepaid or something like that, causing people to be unable to actually even play the game, right? Even if they had an account before, which they actually did release those restrictions for old accounts a little bit later on, but even if you had an old account at the time, you were required to actually have a phone number linked to your account that Blizzard accepted. If you did have a phone number, right, but it wasn't one that Blizzard accepted for you, then it wouldn't work. You wouldn't be able to actually use it. You wouldn't be able to play the game normally. You wouldn't be able to do any of that, and you would just be kind of in the void, right? You'd be in this limbo of, hey, you at one point were allowed to play the game, you were at one point allowed to, but now since you don't have a phone number, or you might not have a phone number provider like Cricket Wireless that we support, then you're just unable to play the game, which isn't even a lie at all, because apparently some people who are on Cricket Wireless can't use their account on this game, right? They're unable to use their phone number in order to, you know, make their account and play online, and I think it's a scuff situation. But of course, the main reason I can see for this is games free to play now. You know, they gotta find a way to combat cheating, but maybe make it so that, you know, those like requirements for like using a phone or whatever are less strict on like normal devices, like, you know, a console or something where cheating is a lot less often and a lot less likely in general, and make it so, you know, that type of cheating stuff you would expect is something that's going to happen elsewhere, right? It's something that's not going to happen on well, I guess it is going to happen on PC, but, you know, in other places where it's not as common, make it so people aren't required to have, like, you know, a million phone numbers. Now, I'm also wondering if it's going to require players to, you know, go out there and actually have, what is it, you know, actually have themselves one number per account. Like, think about if you have a child, right? If you have a child and you want them to play Overwatch with you, you might have the issue where, oh, I already have my phone number linked to my account, and I don't want to buy my son or daughter an entire phone just so they can play Overwatch with me, so I'm going to have to compromise, you know. I might have to let them use, like, another family member's account. I might have to let them use my account or something like that and just take turns because of the fact that, you know, there is this restriction in place. It kind of just, you know, makes it so there's a barrier to entry when it comes to playing this game, and I don't know how I feel about it. Luckily, you know, they went back on their word, and they kind of made it so old accounts, you know, ones made before the whole entire Switch, don't require a phone number. So if you played the game before it went free to play, you are still able to play the game normally without having that phone number restriction, but it does suck for new players. And that is the biggest complaint overall when it comes to this game, is that for new players, the experience is terrible. And I don't even mean it as in, you know, like, oh, you're restricted from doing all this type of stuff. No. What I mean is that if we leave the game here, you know, we go all the way back to the lobby, and we actually look at what we have going on here, if you go to your heroes, right, if we can click on any hero, I'll just click on Sojourn, and you go to the skins, for a legendary skin, it's basically $19, almost $20, you know, you might be able to get a discount or whatever. For an epic skin, it's $1,000, and then for these rare skins, which are just, you know, slight color swaps, it's $3. So if these are slight color swaps and they're worth $3, this is what a $10 skin is worth, right? Why is it that a $20 skin looks less, like, you know, unique compared to what you could get from a $10 bundle or a $3 bundle? It's like, I feel that if the legendary skins are really going to be priced at $19, then maybe they should be a little bit more unique than this. Like, obviously you have a little bit more armor or whatever going on, but if we look at some of the other characters and we look at some of their event skins, this is a $10 skin. Well, actually, this is a $20 skin now. This is a $20 skin. This is a $20 skin. This is another $20 skin, and then this is how the character looks normally. Even this, which is a slight color swap, looks a lot more, like, unique. You know, this is still on the level of the other ones where I feel it's not worth it, but even this right here is a $20 skin that, you know, would actually make sense to own it, and, you know, actually makes sense for the $20 price because it's super detailed. Same with these over here where, you know, it's completely changing the face model and everything. Those are more worth it. However, in Overwatch 1, you were able to gain these cool skins, right? You were able to gain the cool ones, like for Pharah, this is one of my favorites right here, you were able to gain these not by spending $20, but by buying loot boxes. You would be able to get tons of different cosmetics, and for the price of basically $50, you'd be able to get like 200 items in the game, some of which you might not care about, some of which you will care about, but it would be 200 items for $50, whereas now, if you want 3 skins that are legendary, that is going to cost you $60. And honestly, I don't even see any skins right now that are worth spending, you know, $20 on when it comes to the new characters. Of course, since the older characters have, you know, a buildup of older cosmetics and stuff for them, I can see that more, but even with Junker Queen, this is a default skin, right? You have a nice design and everything going on it, and then if we go over here to one of the other skins, let's see here, this is a $20 skin, and this right here looks like something you would get as a starter skin, right? This looks like a default skin, and I could see this as being a $20 skin, because really the only difference I'm seeing is like the, you know, the belts and stuff are slightly less detailed, you know, there's less stuff there, and they're in a different design, but other than that, I would prefer this over the $20 skin option right here. Now, of course, they do have bundles and stuff, but at the same time, the bundles aren't really a discount for you. I don't have anything in my Just For You section, but if we go over here and look at some of the actual skins, we have this Circuit Breaker. It's a $20 bundle, you know, 2,000 of the Overwatch coins, which I have enough for, but if you want to buy this, you're getting an emote, you're getting a victory pose, you're getting a voice line and a spray. And now the thing is, you're basically spending 100 extra currency to get a skin, an emote that typically you don't see people use unless they're waiting for a match to begin. You get a victory pose, which cool, you know, might be the most useful thing you get here, but you're never really going to use some of this stuff, right? You might spam a voice line, you might use a spray at the start of a match, but 3 of the 5 items you get from this bundle, I personally wouldn't buy the bundle for. I would be buying it for the skin and maybe the victory pose, depending on what other victory poses they have, and I just feel that it's not in a good spot. Personally, I don't agree with how the pricing is, and I would prefer the loot box system with how it currently is, but of course, since I am an old player, I actually have access to all the characters, I have access to all my old cosmetics, so I'm happy with what I currently have. It just sucks for the newer players. And speaking of the new player experience, another thing I dislike is how all the characters basically get locked, right? You only have around half of the characters, and the only way to unlock all of them is to play 100 matches. That's right, if you want to access everything except Kiriko, who is locked to the actual battle pass, you need to play 100 games as a new player who has never touched Overwatch before. And it's funny because if we go to the challenges here, I'm pretty sure in order to unlock competitive, yeah, you have to play 50 matches and win those. So technically, you could play competitive, depending on how good you are with your team and everything, before you've even unlocked every character in the game, and it just kind of sucks, right? I feel for the newer players out there because I feel that they're getting scammed and ripped off compared to what we had in Overwatch 1. Now, of course, the game is free to play now, and it means that there's going to be a higher influx of players in there, but I really just kind of dislike how they're running, you know, like the shop, how they're running the new player experience and stuff like that, and I wish that, you know, it was a better system for the new players out there. Now, on top of this, another thing I don't really like is how confusing some stuff is. I'm just going to go to Mercy because that's the character I main. One thing that confused me right away was souvenirs, right? These are just emotes. These are just another emote. They're another name for an emote, but they have their own tab. And all it is you floating in the air doing a specific pose, and, you know, you'll be able to have an emote here. You know, I love the pineapple pizza one. I'm glad that's free in the battle pass. But at the same time, it's like, if I want to unlock this is 500 coins for a souvenir that, you know, is just going to show up whenever I use an emote, which could be used to, you know, make fun of someone, but in a fast-paced game like Overwatch, the only place you might be able to use an emote and get away with it is probably going to be like elimination or a custom game, so I personally don't like that system. And then for weapon charms, here's where it gets interesting, okay? So these 2 charms I have are from the battle pass, but these charms down here are epic charms for $7. These are things that are going to be on your gun, and for some characters, they don't even look that good. Like, if we go over here to, like, Zenyatta, who uses balls in order to, you know, shoot them off or whatever, where would the weapon charm be, right? Because, you know, the weapon is a floating object around them. Well, Zenyatta's weapon charm is on their hand. It's just shoved into their hand, and it feels so weird, right? Because the only characters characters that actually have the weapon charm in a right spot are characters that have a normal gun. If you're like Kiriko, who, uses kunais and stuff, your weapon charm is actually on your glove. It's on your fist as well, and it just feels like it's a weird placement. Now, luckily, with Kiriko, as far as I've seen, this is the best spot for you to visually see it on your character at all times, so I like that, but I still feel like the charms are in very weird spots to be called a weapon charm, and it's just something that I dislike when it comes to the actual cosmetic side of it. And then for my final two complaints, I gotta mention the battle pass. I love the cosmetics, right? I think the cosmetics are super cool, but I feel that you're not getting enough bang for your buck, because while you are able to complete the battle pass before the season ends just by logging in and doing only daily challenges, you are going to miss out on some stuff when it comes to actually being able to earn one of these for free, because with the battle pass, there's no currency to be earned from the actual pass itself. The only currency you can earn in order to buy another pass is through weekly challenges where you can earn 50 Overwatch coins per week. This means if you want a legendary skin, right, a 1,900 Overwatch coin skin, that is going to require you to play for a total of 38 weeks and do all 11 weekly challenges in all of those weeks. Now, 38 weeks, if we go ahead and, times that by 7 to actually get the amount of days, is 266 days. If we go over here to the actual battle pass, this ends in 57 days. So if we go ahead and take, 57, divide it by 7, I times it by 7. Okay, it's a little scuffed doing this live commentary, but this is 8 weeks of a battle pass, right? 8 to 9 weeks because it kind of started, a week ago and stuff like that. But 9 weeks of doing your weekly challenges and stuff is only going to grant you 450 coins, meaning in one season, you're not even able to buy the season pass itself. Especially if you already own the season pass, you already own that battle pass, you're unable to buy the next one without, going out of your way and either skipping an entire season or going ahead and buying some Overwatch coins on top of it. It's something that I just don't agree with, and I hope they make it better, right? I hope maybe they'll add some extra tiers, maybe there's some bonuses past level 80 we don't know yet, where you'll be able to earn coins. You'll be able to earn Overwatch coins as you continue to grind the game, so that you are able to actually gain all those cosmetics, gain all the coins and stuff that you need in order to keep playing. But right now, I feel that the whole entire cosmetic system when it comes to the marketability and pricing is in a terrible spot. And of course, if we go back to charms real quick, it's not in the game right now, but based on, rumors and stuff going around, legendary charms, which show up on guns and stuff, are going to be 1,000 Overwatch coins, right? They're going to cost you $10 for a legendary charm, which is the exact same price as an epic skin for a character. Like if we go down here, this right here, which I think, is 1,000, this is the same price as a small charm that will be on your gun, or in this case on D.Va, on the little handle that you'll rarely, actually I think you'll see it pretty often, but it's going to be on that little handle, and it just doesn't make sense to me how they're pricing stuff. I hope it gets better over time, but that is my main complaint. And then for the final complaint I have to say about Overwatch 2 is that they kind of promised some stuff coming at launch that didn't come to the game. They promised banners, which are going to be things you put down on the ground, and you'll be able to see your icon. Whatever icon you have right here, you would be able to see that put down there, and you would be able to kind of flex it to other people if you had a rare one or something like that. That isn't in the game. They promised it was going to be there at launch, but it's not here. Similarly with being able to actually inspect your weapons. They showed footage of inspecting weapons working exactly 1 year ago, and that's not in the game either. On top of this, they also promised us we would be able to do thumbs up and thumbs down emotes in-game for free, without buying it or anything, right? Without buying a thumbs up, and even though they showed it working on so many characters, why am I getting friend requests? I don't even know what's going on here, but even though they showed it working, it doesn't work, right? You can't do that. They promised all this stuff coming at launch, and then they just didn't actually release it. So I'm wondering, is it going to be coming still? Did they scrap it and just not tell anyone? What's going on here? But that is my complaints, and I know that was most of the video, but of course, that isn't me wanting to say I hate this game. No, in fact, it's actually quite the opposite. I really love I love Overwatch 2. I'm glad to see it's gone free to play, and I'm happy to be able to use some of my old characters and stuff. As an old player, I love what they've done with the game. I love the new UI. I love the enhancements and everything, and it's super fun to see that other people are going to be able to play the game, and I plan to, play it a lot more. Maybe get some background footage, ramble on about a topic while I play an Overwatch match or two. I just really am disappointed with how they're handling the new player experience and how they're handling handling cosmetics in the item shop. And in fact, I don't even have an item shop right now, except for their bundles that are featured here. So I'm hoping that, you know, later down the line in the future, it gets better, and that's all I can really do is hope for them to improve it as they continue updating their game, and let my voice be heard by telling you what I do and don't like. So should you try out Overwatch 2? Should you go out of your way to download the game and play it? Assuming that you're able to bypass the whole entire phone issue, assuming you're able to get through all that and actually play the game, I would say yeah, it's a fun game. However, just don't think that you're going to be able to get cosmetics as easily as people were in Overwatch 1, because Overwatch 2 is basically Overwatch 1 but free to play and with a different marketing system, you know, a different pricing on everything. And I would say just play it for the actual game itself and not the cosmetics. Now, of course, they do drops on Twitch and stuff where you can get some skins, because if we go over here with a new character, I actually do have this skin right here, which is a Twitch drop, so you can get some freebies, right? You can get some nice stuff without having to buy it, but if you find a certain character being your main, you might be locked out of getting a cosmetic you want until a specific event goes live, or until they do a giveaway of it or something like that. So I would really say that just play the game to enjoy it, and don't play it so much to look at the cosmetics you'll be able to unlock in the shop, right? Because the pricing is just not there, and I don't agree with how the pricing currently is in this game. But yeah, Overwatch 2 is basically an update to Overwatch 1 that made it free to play and a lot nicer to look at. And of course, they're going to be adding a PvP mode, or I guess not PvP, but PvE campaign story mode in the future, which is going to be a big update that I'm excited for, because, you know, I want to go through the campaign, see what they do there, and see if there's any rewards there. Now, that's going to cost money to actually get access to unless you owned Overwatch 1. So yeah, there's my review. Am I based? Am I cringe? Let me know in the comments down below. Hopefully, you know, this was a nice little ramble. I didn't expect it to go on for this long, but hey, you know, I had some stuff I wanted to say, and with that said, I'm off to go play some more arcade mode, capture the flag, blitz. Peace out.